So here we are, still in the May 2006 build, showing for the first time some never before seen parts of the world that didn't make it into the final version of Burnout Paradise. To give you an idea of where we are, there's the dam on the right there, and on the left is the original version of the quarry. So were you to carry on down this route in the 2006 build, you'd find yourself in some farmland. Now, as with a lot of early concepts, just because we attempt something and see how it would work, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would make it into the final product. In the case of this one, farmlands are usually very flat and they're usually very open, neither of which are conducive to gameplay or sense of speed. But for what it's worth, here it is.
This is something that's never been seen. This has never been shown outside the office, so it's a real treat for you guys, a real kind of peek behind the scenes. It's just a little glimpse of what might have been. So this is the very original version of Burnout Paradise. This is running on the Xbox 360. It's actually running the Revenge engine, and this was put together by Mark Hamilton, who's our gameplay lead, and he was actually doing this when we were finishing up Black and Revenge.
Yeah, this is before we even so much as had an engine, and while the code was being written elsewhere, the artists were able to carry on using the engine we already had. And initially it started off as just a test route. Mark was just making one point-to-point route that would lead from the city to the mountains to prove a concept. And that went so well that one point-to-point route became a district, and then the district became a very large portion of the world. And the end result, as you can see here, is quite a lot of the world, minus the gameplay elements that were added in later, are present in this build in some form or another. Graphically it's quite primitive, because the Revenge engine was not made to do an open world game. But it showed potential. I mean, from here we could iterate things like things we could see from a distance, the vistas. Not so much the crashes.
Not so much the crashes, no. Now obviously this is recognizable. You can still see, even in the finished game, you can still recognize this. We're coming up to the freeway, there's the tunnels. This pretty much was Paradise. Even at that early stage, it's still there. You can see the kind of the birth of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Richard Frank, and I'm here with Scott Harbour and John Lewis from the World Team on Burnout Paradise. And here we're looking at the first ever build of Burnout Paradise in the Burnout Paradise engine. As you can see, we didn't have an awful lot that you could actually drive on, but you did get a pretty good sense of the scale of the city. You can see up there Ocean View on the hillside, and we're driving through West Acres now, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I think this is the bit that inevitably became Lambert Parkway.
This particular road?
This particular street, yeah.
That's right. Well, no, this one became Hubbard, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And up here is the interstate, I think.
Yeah, and then there's a big long tunnel takes you to Silver Lake.
The road layout is actually quite similar to the final layout. I mean, here's the double tunnel, which you'll all know from the game. So actually, it's quite a testament to our planning and our experience of building Burnout that these roads actually worked. Although obviously they were rebuilt several times before the end of the game to just tweak the driving experience.
So, this build is from around October 2006, and this was the first milestone build that we did after the first playable build. that we just showed. It's come on a bit. Cars have reflections for the first time. Early iterations of our lighting and sky went in.
Boost bar is looking familiar.
Yes, it is. We got traffic for the first time. They're all just red variations of the car you're currently driving. And a lot of the artwork has started early iterations, as has the HUD.
So fishtailing, that was drifting. Yeah? That's the original term for drifting. So it's calling out a lot more stuff here. As you drive around, you'll see lots of different offences being committed. And that was all tied into the driving licence.
Oh yeah, the original game design, yeah.
Our original crashes. Roll it.
So here's the twin bridges, which haven't actually changed all that much. From here to the final build, where most of the world now is at a stage which we usually call drive the style guide, which is where we aim to give a real feeling of how the world is going to end up looking, but with less fidelity.
This particular street, we had a couple of artists who went ahead to basically prove how much further we could go beyond the drivable style guide as well. So you may find that the L train is looking closer to final here than it does in, say, downtown, and some of the buildings have progressed further on, such as that one on the left there.
Yeah, so this section here is representative of the finished game, or close to it.
Or at least the amount of content you'd expect to find, because we were trying to help the graphics team test the limitations of the engine.
Absolutely. You've got lampposts and everything at this point.
But you'll notice also that it's changed an awful lot since then.
I mean, comparing it to what else was in the world.
Yeah, so the rest of this world is still just, well, it's just white box. It's very, very basic. But obviously, that'll change